Hey guys, this week we have a really weird lineup of summons, and I figured that I would go over it for you guys, kind of give a perspective for both, basically every kind of range of player. I'm gonna kind of tell you whether or not you should summon, and I do have an answer for all of them for wherever you are in the game. So, as you can see, no Dahlia. I will have a video pretty soon on why Dahlia is not here. But for now, we have this, and we essentially have to plan for this, plan around some banners we have coming up, which I do have leaks on, which I will try to have a video out pretty soon. But let's just get into it. So first of all, we have something a little weird that might stand out to you, and that's the I can't pronounce this. It's the it's the Nascent summoning. That's what I'm going with. I don't care if it's right or not. It's probably wrong, but that's what I'm going with. This is probably one of the most interesting banners. The last time we had this was in December, so it's been about 6 months. So going off of that, we know that it's probably going to be every 6 months. This thing's going to come around. This was called the New Year's banner last time it was around, but now it's called the whatever summoning banner. I'm not calling it by its name because I don't know how to pronounce it. But the first legendary you get is guaranteed to be unknown. And this kind of creates a weird situation for you, where you have to essentially analyze your account specifically, and there is no answer for that specifically. But I'm going to quickly go over how I would kind of figure that out. So obviously all the other banners we'll get to in a second, but with the Nascent summoning, whatever it's called, you have to look at your unknown heroes. So let me look at my account for an example. For those of you who don't know, the gallery is now over here, which is a little annoying, but that's where it is. But this summoning banner is only for blue summons, so rare summoning crystals. It does not include ancients at all. Stuff like Lugaru will not be included in this banner, but stuff like Salazar, Zulatu, Valkyria, Magmus, stuff like that, which I don't have on my account, I'm gonna be getting. So what you have to do is you have to essentially, in your brain, or write it down. I would heavily recommend writing it down. You want to write down the wants, like the things that would be really good. You want to write down things that'll be mediocre, but you wouldn't really mind too much. And then you want to write down the bad things. So for me, on the good section, I would write Zillatu, Valkyria. I know that I'm missing, let me try to find it. Why are the mages higher this time? I'm missing Comet. And then I'm missing a bunch of lords. Like Ajax I'm missing Laia. I'm missing, where is it? I'm missing Cetrum. I really need Cetrum. I'm missing Torador. I'm missing Hars. I would love all of those. Those are all in the good section. That's like 6 heroes or something. My math might not be right now because I am tired, but whatever. I'm always tired. But then I gotta look at the mediocre ones, which is Magmus, who might help me in grade 5. Trusk gives a tank, but he is pretty good. Like Nyx would be in a meh for me, so that's like 3, maybe 4 heroes. And then in the stuff that I don't want, I would put stuff like Ezreal, Pharisee, that's 2. Then I'll go Seraphina, that's 3. And then let me just quickly go through this. Allura is 4 things that I don't want. Azor is 5. So that's 5 units I absolutely do not. But when you compare it to like the 6 heroes I need and I'm desperate for, and then the heroes that I wouldn't really mind, to me, for my account, the way that my account is structured, I will be going for this. I don't have that many summons because I went all in on Cetrum like an idiot. But I would summon on this if your account is like mine. But you want to do the same thing for your account. You want to go into your gallery, find every normal summon hero that you don't have yet, figure out whether or not you want them, you don't care, or you absolutely don't want them at all, and then you got to just math it out in your head and go off there. So I would say if you have about 50% of heroes you want in the pool, I would go for the summon. If you have like 40% heroes that you could pull or stuff you really want, I would go for it, but it is kind of up to you. After all, everyone's account is different, and there is no definitive answer for that. But moving on to kind of the other stuff I gotta just talk about pretty quickly. We have, first of all, Ancient Summoning. Ancient Summoning, with the way that no banner Ancient Summoning works now, I would not pull on this. We know that there is an Ajax Arbiter banner coming pretty soon. probably, my guess is sometime next month. Ardea obviously being the best fighter in the game, insanely broken, and then Ajax being insanely good as well, very, very good. His only downfall is he doesn't really have a Lord skill, and he eats up Lord Pity, but apart from that, he's 100% worth it. I would not summon on this, purely because we know that is coming due to the leaks. I will, once again, have some leak videos out. I have like 3 to make. I've just been too tired, and haven't really had the energy, and there's been a lot of new content lately. Moving on, we got special divine summoning. Personally, this depends on one factor, and one factor only. Do you have arrogance? If you don't have arrogance, this is worth it. If you do, it kind of depends, because it's A3 and it's A5 are absolutely broken. As if you go over here and we look at the awakenings, number 1, he heals when his ult, pretty cool, but nothing too crazy. But then this one is whenever someone's burning, which is very, very often for him, because his basic inflicts burning, he does 15% extra damage. You can effectively think of that as like a pretty much all the time 15% extra damage boost. Really crazy. And then this essentially makes it so the first couple attacks in his ultimate are twice as strong. And it's or maybe not twice as strong, but a lot stronger. And it's stupid as hell. It's so stupid. He does so much damage. So even if you have him already, I would still say this is kind of worth it. Sadie being pretty niche in a lot of areas and not really usable outside of like healer codex. Dix if you want to take the shield. Gear A2, I wouldn't even use her. I would rather just use Volk A1 strats. She's not really worth it. And the rest of these epics aren't worth it except for Idril. And then I guess Avalon is good for the Infernal Codex stage. But apart from that, this banner is essentially useless apart from Arrogance, at least for where I am in the game. That is all I am thinking about. If you're early on, you don't have Idril, I would summon on this. But obviously, if you're early on, you wouldn't have that many Divines. So just keep that in mind. And then the 2x, I will say the same thing I always say, which is that if you're early on, 100% pull on this. You always want to be pulling for quantity, not quality. You don't really want to be pulling on like Silas banners if you don't have them, or Element or whatever, because chances are they will come to you through these banners. This and the 1+1, not the Nascent summon, because that's for people who have most of the heroes in the game, but something like someone who's 2 months in. I would still recommend to only pull on these banners and 1+1s. Just because eventually you'll flesh out your roster, get all those good heroes, and then from there you could prioritize certain heroes because you know what you're missing. So you don't end up essentially pulling for, let's say, Arrogance, and then you get him, and then you pull in the 2x, and you'll get him again, and then you end up missing a lot of other tier heroes. It's not that big of a deal, but that is kind of how it goes. And also with Divines, if you want better rates for legendaries compared to this, because this is only 6% per Divine pulled, I would pull on this one. This one's definitely worth it. It's just if you're a bit later like I am, I would still go for the 15x purely because, you know, it's really easy to build pity and all of this stuff. But once again, it doesn't really matter. Do whatever you feel like. So that's kind of all. Before we go, I do have to also say that in this shard summoning thing for Rourke, you can pull if you want to get the shards in here, but you don't actually need them. It's very, very easy to beat the epic fusion events, and it's really, really not that difficult. So essentially just summon if you want. Don't really put this into account as long as you're trying a little bit on the other kind of quests or the shards. You're gonna be fine. You're not gonna need to worry at all. So yeah, hope this helps. Basically, just this is probably one of the best banners in the game for endgame players. If you're not endgame, it doesn't really matter, and it's kind of a nothing week. But I would say for Dahlia if you need the legendary rage anyways, and pull on this if you're missing not that many heroes. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. That's about it for me. Have a great rest of your day, night, wherever it is where you are, and that's it from me. Destined, signing out.